Happy Wednesday, everybody, and welcome into the Gramlich and McLean podcast presented by Ingles, the official supermarket of Gramlich and McLean. It's personal this week. Mac is wearing his Clemson shirt. Did not wear it when we interviewed Trey Benson, of course. But, Mac, I think you have to wear a Florida State shirt on Monday's episode if the Noles beat the Tigers. But I know that's also not going to be the biggest bet of the weekend for you.
That's right, KG. Well, here's the deal. I always love wearing other teams' gear. I like to represent. But this week I did not. You got to earn it this week if you want me to wear some Noles gear, okay? So I'm not just giving it out freebies. And like you said, EJ and I have a very nice bet. It's a 2-part bet, maybe even like a 3 or 4-part bet. I'm going to break it all down here for you, and you guys try to stay with me. So Saturday, obviously the game is being played at noon. Mm-hmm. The loser has to wear the winning team shirt in the A block, which is the very first block of our late night show, and the last block, whatever that could be. Who knows? It could be D, it could be E, whatever it is. Because we're on site every week. So, I don't want to be at Pittsburgh and EJ having to wear a Clemson shirt the whole time. That's just rude. Disrespectful to Pitt. Yeah. So those blocks kind of guarantee there won't be any Pitt people or North Carolina people around. So that's when we are going to do that. But then here's the big kicker. This is actually pretty brutal. The next Saturday, this carries over a week.
Oh.
The loser has to wear the winning team's Letterman jacket for the A block, for the first block during the pregame show. And then they have to wear it in the A and the last block of the night show. So this is a pretty big deal. There's a lot of ramifications going on with this bet, and we wanted to ramp it up. And ironically enough, EJ wanted to go all in. His team's number 3 in the country. I haven't heard about this for years. I mean, it's been 4 years. Haven't heard any crazy bets, but here we are. But I feel confident. I'm feeling really good.
Okay, I've seen you in a Florida State shirt, but you in a Florida State letter jacket?
It's going to hurt. It's going to burn my skin. I'm glad I'll have long sleeves on so nothing will touch me, but it's going to hurt.
But like I said, I don't have to do it. I'm good. Letter jacket. That's what I want to see.
Hey, my boy looks good in purple and orange. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, we will get to this game. We have Trey Benson on this show. We have Phil Mafah, 2 of the running backs for Clemson and Florida State. We both think the run game is going to be really important in this game on Saturday. But first, Mac, I know a couple minutes, let me pause. Your TV was switching.
I don't know what just happened. My whole thing just like glitched out.
Oh no.
I don't know what just happened.
You distracted me. Do you want to try
to see it?
No?
I'm changing it right
froze. Now. Oh, there you go.
Am I still frozen?
No, you were frozen. And then when you came back up on screen, I saw like an ad for a Disney show behind you.
I don't know what happened there. I think we leave this all in the show so you guys can see what we have to deal with in this place. This is ridiculous.
I couldn't even talk. Okay. Point is, where I was going with this, Mac, and I said a couple minutes ago what I meant a couple days ago. You cooked some fire wangs on the grill from Ingles.
They were literal fire, actually, because I used this new rub, and it was called Sweet Lick. Sweet Lick. So it was sweet heat mixed with garlic. I forgot about the heat part. I thought it was just sweet and lick. And so I loaded these things up with rub.
Oh, no.
Mouth was burning pretty good, but they were exceptional. You guys saw it on social media. Here's the deal. I've done a couple of different things with wings because I'm a big wing guy, right? Like I just love it. It's Monday Night Football. You got to have some wings. Got to get after it.
This is America.
That's right. And actually, Khaki is not a wing girl, but I've kind of gotten it to this point to where she is. She likes it crispy. She doesn't like the smoked wing. She likes it crispy, like fried. So I can replicate that on the Traeger. I just have to fire it up. So I've done a couple of different things. I will say I did not add mayo to kind of the base this time, which I have found that crisps it up a little bit more. So, it's an ever evolving thing. You figure it out, you get your recipe. Sometimes I stray away and I shouldn't. And, you just try it out. So if you didn't see that, go back on social media, post it on Twitter or X. I still call it Twitter. and
It's
Instagram
Twitter.
as well. So if you have any questions, hit me up there. Would love to hear and see what you guys have going on. But real quick, before we jump into these two amazing interviews, let's hear from our friends over at Ingles.
Did you know that Ingles sells more organics than any other store? Or that they run their own dairy? Or that they only serve USDA choice and prime meat? Did you know that they have more local craft beer than any place else? Or that they have Energy Smart stores? Or that they professionally slice and package imported cheese from Europe? Did you know about their giant international aisle, local farm partnerships, curbside pickup, wine department? Or that they donate 3,956 meals a day to local food banks? Well, now you do. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Trey Benson, my man, welcome to the podcast. Super excited to talk to you today. Massive game. It's funny, my brother EJ Manuel and I have been going back and forth on this game. It feels like for a year since you guys played last year, and we're finally here. So just how you doing? How you doing today, my man?
I'm doing good. We had one of the better practices today, so we're just getting prepared.
That's right. I know Noles fans love to hear that. Clemson fans don't like to hear that. So it's right in the middle with both these guys. Trey, before we jump into really this game, I just wanted to kind of talk about this team a little bit because, being down there, seeing you guys in person, and hearing everything that we have and obviously seeing you in these first three games, this team just feels different to me. And you guys understand what's at stake, the opportunity you have in front of you. When did you kind of feel that? When did you kind of know, hey, this team might be pretty special?
Going into a fall camp, that's when I, realized this team, we're going to be special. Like this culture, this chemistry, the team chemistry that we have with each other, like even like outside of football, we hang out outside of football. Like that's the best thing about this team. Like that's what that's the brotherhood that we have here, and that make us play better on the field.
For sure. And we can see that. I think it comes through with how y'all play. The LSU game, of course, was a massive way to start the season. And everyone was super excited to see that. I am more curious about what you guys learned from the Boston College game. Kind of a weird game up there, escape on the road, undefeated. That's all that matters. But what did you take away from that game?
Just keep the edge, keeping the edge and, not getting complacent, not getting comfortable, just staying uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I learned from this game because I feel like in the third quarter when we was up by 21, we got real comfortable with the lead,
right? And
it went down here from there.
So what kind of, I guess, things did yourself or Trav or just any of the leaders, Jared, any of those guys? What was, I guess, the message on the sideline when things were starting to go down a little hill? Because I think a couple of years ago, y'all probably lose that game just because there wasn't the culture that there is in place now. So what were kind of some of those things said on the sideline during that?
Basically, just, refocus, just lock in, That's basically what we were saying the whole time, and we're going to get it back. Like, we're going to get this back. We're going to get this touchdown back. And don't worry, like, we knew the defense had us, and the offense, the defense knew that we had them, and then we knew that we had the defense. So,
right,
we didn't get worried. We knew we was going to, get the dub, but yeah, it was scary.
It was weird. It was weird.
I think FSU fans would agree.
It was weird. Yeah, that's the word.
It was a weird game. Very weird game. You had the fumbles. You had just a bunch of craziness. Yeah. Well, let's look ahead. Let's look to this Clemson game in Death Valley on Saturday. I'm curious how you guys have been thinking about this game because the media, we've been talking about this game, ad nauseum, ever since the schedule came out, basically. How are you all treating this game in your locker room?
It's not about them. It's about us. It's about the team. We focus on us. Just coming back from the last week, we was a little rusty. We still haven't played our best game yet. That's the scary part about this team.
Yeah,
like we're not even close to our best game yet. So, hopefully this week coming up, we get to see one of our best games.
How do you think you get to that point? Because I agree with you, and even in that LSU game where, you guys dominated. It was so impressive, but there was like a little thing here or there that, I just think if you get to that point. So how do you get to that point in week 4, obviously going against a high-key opponent here?
Just communication, seeing eye to eye with the coaches, seeing eye to eye with the, talking to our teammates. That's really has been the problem with us, just communicating on the field as one, defense and offense. So, playing with tempo, that's been fine, but it's just communication. That's been a big problem.
Yeah.
Trey, I know you're from Mississippi. You went to Oregon, came back to Florida State. What do you know about this Clemson-Florida State rivalry? I think it very much is a rivalry, especially once Florida State joined the ACC. And, Clemson has had some success in it as of late. You've played in some of those games. What do you know about this rivalry?
I know about this rivalry before I even, got here, because when Dalvin Cook was here, I used to see them play each other all the time. So I used to watch it as a little kid, and me being here now, that's the crazy part about it. It's a real feeling, and
So
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I got to tell you, you made me feel a little old there, brother, when you're talking about playing Dalvin Cook. That's who I played against, and he said you're a little kid watching that.
As a baby, Matt.
That hurt my heart, Trey. That hurt my heart to hear you say that. But I got to say, I watched Dalvin Cook, too. We played him in 15 at our house. First play of the line of scrimmage, 75 yards to the house. And I'm just sitting there like, here we go. Okay, this is going to be one of those type of games. Trey, yeah, right. So when you're in a game like this, man, what is the intensity like for you? Just understanding, hey, at any moment I can make something happen. I can bust a big play, and especially like the type of running back you are. What's your mindset going into games like this?
Just, just stay calm, because sometimes, like, I feel like my problem is, in the big games, I try to be perfect. I be too timid sometimes, but this game coming up, I'm just gonna talk to myself, tell myself, look, you good. Just stay calm. Stay calm. Yeah, just enjoy the moment. That's
I like that.
I never played there before, but they say it's loud. They say it get real loud. So
it's pretty loud.
I'm ready to enjoy that. And just live in the moment.
Well, it is a noon game. That's a little different. It's not a night game, as we all kind of thought heading into the season. And I'm a former Clemson basketball player. So noon games, I remember you got to wake up early, and that's not football. So walk me through, especially a noon game on the road, Trey. Like, what time are y'all getting up, and what's kind of the schedule?
We probably get up like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, yes, we gotta get used to that, because usually we play late games, So
and the BC game was noon, so that was maybe a part of it.
We like noon games because we don't have to sit around in the hotel all day, but then you gotta wake up early too, and you gotta get ready fast, and for our pregame meal, we gotta eat breakfast food, and I just eat fruit before breakfast most of the time. So
that's right. It's so different how it just changes.
The hard part really is just getting up, really.
Yeah.
Everything happened quick. As soon as you wake up, it's time to play.
It's go time.
Right.
It's go time. I will say, man, something about those night games where you're just sitting around all day, though. You're just like, God, I wish I could go play. And I know the environment, like it is what it is.
You watch everybody else on TV too. So
that's right. Well, how about your quarterback, man? He has been such an impressive guy, and it seems like you guys have a really good relationship. What makes him so special?
I love Jordan to death. He just takes it one rep at a time, and he treat every single rep like a game rep. And you can tell by his face that he's locked in. And that just make me lock in even more. He makes sure everybody on the right assignments, and everybody on the team look up to him, the defense, the offense, and we right behind him.
Yeah.
Trey, can you take much from last year's Clemson game? I know that game was at home, and it feels like a lifetime ago, really. But can you take anything from that film?
Yes, for sure. We just got to own the ball. That's what happened last year. We fumbled, I think, right before the half, and we let them. And they scored a touchdown. And then they got the ball back after halftime. That's what kind of messed us up. So just less turnovers. On the ball, no fumbling, no interceptions. Just playing our game and just executing every play.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, Trey, last one for you, brother. We're very grateful for your time. Like I said, I think this team is very special. You can kind of see it at every phase, every position. You guys are just absolutely loaded. What will stop you, or how can you get to your ultimate goal of winning a national championship for Florida State?
Just 100% effort, but we put in the work every single day. All we gotta do is just continue to believe in the work that we put in every single day, because I feel like no one works like they don't work as hard as us. Like as this team that we have right now, like it's crazy, and we still haven't had our best game yet. Like that should speak a lot, because us not having our best game yet, we 3-0. That's good. So the sky's the limit for this team, and I'm ready to see what's in store for us.
No doubt, my man. Well, we appreciate you. Good luck. Can't wait to see it, and always appreciate your time. Phil Mafah, my man, what's up, brother? Thank you for joining us today.
Hey, what's going on? Glad to be here.
Yeah, excited to have you, man. It's a big week, right? I think back to my time playing at Clemson, and this was always a game that's been circled for months, right? And you knew the winner probably had a good chance of winning an ACC championship and then go on to maybe win a national championship. And it just feels like that's back this year. Florida State took a couple weeks off or a couple years off. I don't want you to comment on that, but just talk about the magnitude of this game and what it feels like going into this Saturday.
Obviously, there's a lot of hype around this game. And our dream as a team is obviously still to get to the national championship. But we know to do that, we have to win out every single game we play. So we're just trying to treat it like another game, just control what we can control and just do us, be the best version of ourselves so that we can, have that success on Saturday.
Yeah, you talk about, best version of yourself. And, we were obviously in the Valley this past Saturday and got to hang out with Coach and Cade after the game. And, Coach just said he feels like this was your best performance, last week and leading into this game. So just from your perspective, man, how has the season been? How are you at the point that you are now? And, just how are you feeling about where the team is?
Well, I'm feeling good so far personally. I'm just trying to get better every day, just stack the days. Just as Coach says, take it one day at a time, and just control the controllables. But as a team, I feel like we're doing great. Week one, things didn't go our way, but we can't go back to the past. So we just have to keep on stacking the days and just believe in ourselves. That's the biggest thing that Coach preaches to us, just belief in ourselves and what we do day in and day out in order to be successful. So we're just trying to get back to the basics and just keep people on the team accountable, keep each other accountable, because we know if we do that, that will create success in every part of the game on and off the field.
Yeah. So, man, listen, when I look at Cade and really thought that was his best performance too, right? That we've seen from him, look super comfortable, got through his reads, 1, 2, 3. What does he bring to this team as a leader and as the quarterback?
He brings a fire to this team for sure. You could see him getting better each and every game. He gets better and just wants to help as much as he can at practice. And he's a vocal leader. He gets the guys riled up. And, he brings a lot to the table. He brings the juice, the energy, whenever things may not go his way or the offense way or the team way, he always finds a way to, speak up and, lead by example and through his voice. And he definitely brings the life to this team.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's impressive to see, and I know that energy, really resonates. And you and Ship do obviously a great job of that as well. I've always heard from other people about your relationship, but I'd love to hear it from you with you and Will Shipley. Is that relationship what everybody says? Is it as great as everybody says? Because I have to imagine that it has to be.
Yeah, it definitely is. He's been my roommate since freshman year. I've lived with him for 3 years, so that's my guy. And we just push each other, on and off the field, through school and just watching film, just doing things together so that we can both develop into the people, holistically that we want to be. So, definitely having him here and me having him and him having me has definitely made us better throughout these past 3 years. And I just can't wait to see what the future holds for both of us.
Yeah, no question about it, man. All right, how about your game? Because I feel like, man, since you said it, your freshman year, you've been such a steady player, and you've seen the responsibilities get more and more. And I just thought last game you really showed out and had that nice long touchdown run that maybe surprised some people. But what's the best aspect of your game? What do you bring to the table as a running back?
For me, I just try to do whatever I can to help the team. Honestly, if it's pass pro, whether it's running the ball, just doing anything, catching the ball. I just try to better my game in all aspects in order to get the team better. And, just believing in myself and my abilities, the work I put in. I just believe that, and I know I put in the work, so I just got to be able to show it out on Saturdays, and it's just fun. I just love playing for my teammates and getting better every week. I'm competitive. I love to win. So just being able to go out there and have fun with the guys is what I love to do. It's
Yeah.
never, I just try not to let the moment get too big because we've all been doing this since we were
Sure.
kids. So just keep having fun with it.
Is it hard to keep that perspective sometimes? Understanding this is just a game, because I feel like even since I've got done playing, I mean, this is trending so much more like a business, and with, NIL and all the TV dollars and all these different things that are coming in. Is it hard to ever just remember, hey, we're playing a kid's game out here with a ball?
Oh yeah, sometimes it is hard just knowing that it's bigger than I am. It's bigger than all the individuals on this team. It means a lot to other people outside of this program. But I just always try to keep the perspective that, God's plan for every single person on this team was to be here at this moment, and just believe that and remember that. So I just try to keep that perspective and knowing that this is God's plan for my life, and I'm just gonna attack it at the best way possible that I can.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm so glad to hear that. Let's jump into this game a little bit, because we were previewing, the FSU game, and you guys have obviously had great success in that recently. What does this rivalry mean? Because you've played in it twice now, going into your third one here. Is it more of maybe you remember playing it or seeing it when you were younger versus what it's been lately? But what does this game mean to you guys and mean to you personally?
To me personally, it just means a lot. Just growing up, just seeing all the great players come from both programs. Battling for the ACC, watching Clemson and FSU just battle it out throughout the years. While Coach Sweeney was the head coach here, like me just watching it was crazy. And now that I'm a part of it, I'm just truly grateful for that. And I know it's my responsibility to not just only my teammates, but former players and also people that went to Clemson, just Clemson alumni in general, to put my best foot forward, whether it's watching film or, just preparing the right way for the game, taking care of myself, just controlling what I can, just giving it my all to my teammates. I feel like that's what really allows me to focus on each and every game, honestly. And I'm just excited for this game just honestly, because it's the next one.
That's right. And what opportunity that is, man. Every time, as a player, you get to walk out in that valley and put on a show. I know how special that is. And, this one will be a big one. A lot of people will be excited about it. Obviously, there's a lot of excitement about Florida State, and rightfully so. I mean, the way that they've played and who they have coming back and things of that nature. Maybe things that you've seen or challenges that they might present. And just the fact that, right now, and I'm sure you don't pay any attention to this, but maybe Coach will bring it up, maybe not, that, you guys will be underdogs at home. That hasn't happened maybe since your career. What will it take to get a dub in this game?
It'll just take everyone buying in in practice, just taking game reps every single day. We talk about this all the time in our leadership meetings, just being able to control what we can control, just doing the little things right, how we living on and off the field, and also just like the sidelines, making sure everyone's back on the sidelines, even at practice. Just doing the little things is what's going to get us to propel through this game and every single game after this. So that's just what we keep our faith in, and that's what we plan to do the rest of the way.
Yeah, I just thought about this. I'm gonna let you get out of here, but how about Tyler Brown, man? I mean, how special is that young cat? Did you see any flashes of that in camp? Did you expect it? Because it's so funny. We get to come and hang out with you guys for like a day, and it could be a good day, could be a bad day, and then you kind of base your whole thought process on that. But he flashed for me while I was there. Was that a consistent thing that you saw from him all camp?
Oh yeah, it was very consistent. You could tell, like, as soon as he got on campus and we were just working out with him, he was fast. He was just a fast dude, track dude. So we could just tell that he was hungry. He was hungry. He played fast, and as a freshman, that's not common for most people. And just seeing him get better and better each and every game, the sky's the limit for him. And I can't wait to see what he does with that over the next couple of years.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Well, I tried to keep it a secret, didn't tell anybody about him, but now it seems like the cat's out of the bag. So anyway, Phil, I appreciate you, man. Can't wait to see the game. Good luck on Saturday. It's going to be a fun one.
Thanks again to Trey Benson and Phil Mafah for joining us here on the pod. It was good to get that perspective from Florida State and from Clemson in this game, Mac. Florida State opens as a 2.5-point favorite in Death Valley on Saturday, basically morning at noon. The last time, I don't know if you've been following my tweets at KG Stats and Info. The last time Clemson was a home underdog. Do you know?
Are you quizzing me? Was it Louisville?
Yeah. Louisville,
was it really?
2016.
No way. What was the line? Do you remember? Do you know?
I don't have the line. I want to say it was probably 2.5. I feel like it was around that, or 3. Yeah.
That is
and Clemson
crazy.
won 42-36. So that was 7 years ago.
Wow.
And I was looking up some other things. Klubnik was born on October 10th, 2003. So he was 12 when the last time Clemson was a home underdog.
Probably watching the game. Probably how he fell in love with Clemson football, watching that game.
I guess so, because that was a massive game with 2 Heisman hopefuls. So it's been a long time. And I actually saw this line opened as a pick'em. And then the money started going towards Florida State. So 2.5. Again, we made this point on Monday. I don't know how an unranked team can be a 2.5-point dog to the number 4 team in the country, but whatever. What do you think of that line? And just, do you feel like Clemson's an underdog in this game?
Yeah, for sure. I think that from the outside perspective, I mean, they don't think that way. But I think from a team that's number 4 in the country to a team that lost to Duke, I'm surprised the line isn't bigger.
Why do you say Duke's ranked, sir?
Yeah.
Why do you say it like that?
Yep. You understood why I said it like that. So I think from that perspective, I am surprised that it's not, 6 or 6.5, whatever, just to really get people flowing and the juices going there. You probably would see it trend towards Clemson if that was the line.
Yeah.
And that thing balances out. It will be fun to see if that moves anymore come Friday when we actually pick this game. We're not picking it today. Got to wait till Friday. But I just can't wait to see it, KG. I think you have a team that, in FSU, and you heard, Trey talking about, it was just a weird game at Boston College, right? Like a lot of weird stuff happened, kind of like what happened with Clemson and Duke, but FSU won. And so I think a little bit has to do with that. Duke's a much better team. But they're coming in a weird spot where, they had a handful of drops. Keon Coleman didn't have one catch, a bunch of fumbles, weird deal. BC almost upsets them, at home there. And then you have a Clemson team that, is kind of figuring who they are, getting an offense going. And, are they kind of, meeting in the middle here? So we see this amazing performance. Obviously, Vegas thinks that kind of with the line where it is.
Yeah, I think so. And this game is so interesting when you look at what the teams have done, because Florida State is obviously battle-tested, beating LSU and even winning an ACC game on the road. I mean, Clemson has not won an ACC game, even especially not on the road this year. But I think mentally these teams are in different spots. Clemson is coming off 2 games against 2 very lackluster opponents. But the point is they were able to gain confidence in those games, which is obviously what this team was missing against Duke. Yeah. Florida State's coming off a Boston College game where, if anything, their confidence may have taken a step backwards with the way that they played. And I think confidence is so important, especially for young athletes and student athletes in a game like this. Does that matter, Mac? I mean, I know Florida State's battle tested, but how are you feeling if you're Florida State coming off a game like that where it just felt like nothing went right?
Yeah, it is interesting because I have to think back and, how much were they already looking at this game, and was it one of those things where it's like,
and they were up 21 at one point too.
Yeah,
so you
knowing
just
Coach
think
Norvell, knowing, Jordan Travis, I don't think that they were, I don't think that anybody would allow that. But at the end of the day, this is young men, and that happens.
That's my point, yeah.
And this has been a bear that you have not been able to defeat, since 2014 there. So it's going to get attention. People are going to talk about it. Social media, friends, family, all these different things. It's going to be known who you got next week. And so was there a little bit of, okay, I'm watching this film, but I'm also, on my phone watching this film too and seeing these guys. And again, don't know if that's true. Not saying that they did, but I just see the score of the BC game and that causes me to think that. So is there any type of resurgence? Is there any type
Mm-hmm.
of, okay, this is what we were waiting for. Now we're going to play our best game? Because again, as Trey said, they haven't played their best game yet.
Right.
And there's a
And
lot
he's
of
right.
things out there. 100% he's right. And so when is that peak going to occur? And I'd argue same thing for Clemson. You know, we've seen them now 3 games in a row offensively build more. But even in the Duke game, I mean, they still outrushed them, outgained them, all these different things where offense was clicking, just not enough to score in the end zone. So we saw a bunch of turnovers, a few turnovers, you know, and no turnovers offensively. Are they peaking? And, you know, how do we see them? Do they play their best game where this, you know, equals one of the best ACC games we've seen maybe since that last time, you know, that Clemson was an underdog in the Valley there. So from that aspect, KG, I don't think that FSU is going to have any problem with confidence. I don't think they're going to have any issue getting up for this game, being ready.
No.
Clearly. The noon part is interesting. And Trey said it. You got to get up early. You got to be ready. You're in a different place. Back-to-back weeks traveling now on the road. That is a factor. So it will be interesting to see, does either team start a little sleepy? I think if a team can afford it, it's probably Florida State, just understanding the explosiveness and just all the dudes, the known commodities that they have. I think if Clemson starts sleepy, it could be weird, quick.
It's probably a wrap, yeah. And I always say that it benefits the road team in a noon start because generally the crowd's a little sleepier, the crowd's not fully in there yet, that kind of thing. So we'll see if it benefits Florida State. Yeah. When we look at Clemson, Mac, and you look at
here, I do want to stop it because I do agree with you, except for this one. Like, there's going to be so much juice, and you'll be there. You'll get to see it. And I need a full report, you know, minute by minute as we're getting close to kickoff, what that fan looks like. But I feel like everybody has been waiting for this game. Like, obviously before, you know, we thought it'd be a top 5 matchup, and Clemson obviously not holding up their part of that bargain. And so the anticipation, the excitement, but now that it's here in any fact, I mean, both these teams could be unranked. It does not matter. This game is one of those, and the rivalry, of course, whoever is winning at the time will say, oh, it's not a rivalry, or yes, it is. I think it's a great rivalry. And think of all those years when I was in school, at least, we were in school. The winner of that game was playing for a natty or close to it, winning the ACC for sure, and then playing for a natty a handful of years in between there. Is it back to that? Is it back to that magnitude? And again, I think the fans are going to be crazy. I think they're going to be wide awake. I remember the loudest I've ever heard the Valley, KG, was a noon game against Auburn, and that was just nuts. And so can they channel that to even, you know, forget TV. You want to take a night game away from us, we're still going to be nuts. It's the same amount of people. Go crazy. Just because the sun's up, can't be a little loud. So I'm fascinated to see that part.
The only differentiator.
Start drinking at 3 a.m., whatever you got to do.
That's not what I'm going to say. The differentiator is the traffic.
Sure.
And that's just real talk. Like, you got to leave. I mean, I live in Greenville, and we're saying if we don't leave by 8, we're not going to be able to get there and actually tailgate. So that's the issue. And that we'll see what happens there.
The lots open the day before. Let's go, people.
That's true. Okay. I want to talk about both of these quarterbacks here, Mac. I think the advantage is definitely with Jordan Travis, the wily veteran. This is the biggest game that Klubnik will have ever played in. And Jordan Travis didn't look great at Boston College. He had kind of an injury scare, came back in. Again, I'm not sure how much we learned from BC. But do you think Cade has taken the necessary steps? Because I do recall a certain former Clemson player who was on ACC Network, who was tweeting that maybe Cade wasn't ready for this, wasn't the guy. Do you feel like he's taken those steps?
Well, I think when you talk about, you know, isn't ready. Again, super knee-jerk reaction, and I shouldn't have said it because I thought that fumble was on him. That the exchange
against
between Mafah, and that was 3 in a row. I mean, that's bad. That's not good. You know, I don't know what you're looking at to do that, but it wasn't on him. It was a bad snap, and I think we've seen him grow a lot, which is exciting, right? And that's what you want to see from a quarterback. And that's probably 2.5 years of frustration built up from the quarterback position that came out there. But yeah, when you look at Jordan. I don't think. I mean, it'd be silly to say that he doesn't have the advantage. I mean, number one, this is 6th year. Number 2, he's playing at a super high level. You know, and executing the offense, has unbelievable weapons around him, and so I'm excited to see how does he do in a game like this, because this is probably gosh, it would be hard just to go back here and look. I'll just go to last year and kind of see the games that he was playing in. Clemson was probably the biggest outside of LSU to open the season, which he played very well. Then against Clemson, he threw for 57%, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions.
I would say, Mac, the Florida, even though Florida wasn't very good last year, the fact that they beat Florida and he played really well in that Florida game and just the rivalry aspect of it, that was a big-time performance from him.
Well, bad news, he only threw for 40%. So when you look at that.
All I can think of is that play he made with his legs against Florida. Do you remember that?
Running around. He had 2 of them. He had 2 of them in that game.
I am shocked that he only completed 40% of his passing against Florida.
I was too. When you said that, I looked right. I was like, wow, that's not good. But it's a rivalry game. It's crazy. So, yeah, I'm excited to see him in this game. And how does he handle it? And I know we're all over I have all these thoughts going through my head, so I'm sorry I'm throwing them up.
More thoughts coming on Friday.
That's right. But when I look at this, KG, and his escapability, how much of a magician he is, if there's one, kind of point that I could say about this Clemson defense is those defensive line, they've missed a bunch of sacks. They've missed a ton of tackles on the quarterback that if you do this to this guy, I mean, you saw what Riley can do. He's faster than Riley. He's more, elusive than Riley. What is he going to be able to do with his legs? So those guys have to make the most of those opportunities if you're able to get back to him, understanding you're going against a really good offensive line. So fascinated to see that. And then with Cade, this is going to be the biggest, fastest, best defense you've seen. You've got to slow the game down. And I think he has been doing that, but it has to go to another level. This is going to be a lot like that Tennessee game where you're having to get the ball out quick. There need to be answers. We've seen, unfortunately, this offensive line struggle a little bit with Clemson. There's been some weird injuries and rotating guys. I mean, they had a totally different looking offensive line this last game, maybe to rest guys for this, maybe to get guys back for this game. But, he's got to have stuff built in. Don't be afraid of the check down. Don't be afraid to throw the ball away, which he did last game, which was great. We saw improvement there. But there's going to be some bodies. I mean, there's a bunch of NFL guys across that line of scrimmage. And, not saying that you don't have them as well, but that's going to be a fascinating matchup. How can Cade slow down the game more so than he ever has in college before, which, again, only 4 starts. But that's those 2 things I'm fascinated to see on each side.
I think Cade is the X factor just because he hasn't proven it. Jordan Travis has proven it. I feel like we know what we're going to get from Jordan Travis. Yeah. We really don't know what we're going to get from Cade Klubnik. And Mac, more to come on this game on Friday. So make sure y'all tune in. The other thing here, though, that is almost the obvious thing that's going to be the big factor. And Trey Benson alluded to it with Florida State's loss last year. It's turnovers. Florida State turned the ball over last year. Clemson really won that game pretty easily. It got closer towards the end of the game.
Right.
Clemson this year with turnovers, the Duke game, we all know what happened. Right. And Dabo Swinney even said that in his comments. If we don't win the turnover battle, it's just not going to happen. Yeah. So, I mean, that's going to be huge for both of these teams.
It's extremely hard to win when you do that. Now, listen, I think in 2015, I mean, we lost the turnover margin a lot. It was weird. But as you mentioned, I think it was maybe on Monday, Deshaun Watson will sling it around. I mean, he turned the ball over, but his good plays were so fantastic. But I'm just looking at this FAU game, and I'm pulling up the turnovers here. Clemson forced 4 turnovers. It's almost like a contagious thing. Like it's a confidence thing of let's get the ball. Right. Like let's rip that thing out. Let's go after it. Let's get turnovers, get interceptions. And here's the deal too. Florida State has had a case of the drops this year. If they're tipping that ball and guys are flying around and you've got guys right in the space, turnovers, like they break your back. I mean, that totally can flip a game really quickly, especially if you're able to capitalize and either score defensively or score on offense. So it sounds like such a no-brainer thing, but the team that protects the ball and whoever wins the turnover margin in a game of this magnitude, I think truly, wins this game. And who knows, KG, maybe you'll get your dream and it comes down to like a 30-yard field goal for Clemson.
Whew, yeah, I would love to see the old kicker who was just sitting on the beach in Charleston, as Dabo said, come in and have to make that kick. Sounds terrifying for everybody involved.
If you don't know what we're talking about, just go look. I saw a great article. Grace Rayner did a great article in The Athletic about it today. It is a fascinating situation. That's all I'm going to say about it. You got to go check it out.
Here's my thing, though, Mac. Now I think of things from a mother's perspective, and all I think about is that guy's mother. That's all I think about now.
Which one? Both of them.
The guy White's coming in from Charleston if he has to kick a
How about
30-yard field goal to win the game.
How about that? I mean, they're pulling people off the street. It's a strange situation.
Special teams, I think, advantage Florida State. And, okay, last thing, more to come Friday. Keon Coleman, Will Shipley. I think which guy makes more plays, which guy can be more of a game changer offensively, that team wins the game.
Interesting. That's fascinating. I think
Keon Coleman cannot have 0 catches in this game. I think Florida State fans would agree.
Yeah. I mean, that was a little bit baffling. And then what's Clemson's plan? Do they try to replicate, what BC did and try to make that happen, whether it's cloud coverage or pressing them off the line, throw off timing right there? To me, still the biggest factor is Jordan Travis and how well is he protected and how well can Clemson get after him? Well, and that necessarily even doesn't have to show up in the stat sheet as sacks, KG. If he's getting off of his target and having to escape and can't keep his eyes downfield because guys are flying around, that could be interesting. I can't wait. I am so excited for this game, and I just hope it lives up to it. Now, if, my Tigers blow them out, I'm cool with that. But I would love to just see 2 great teams battling it out and just, I don't know. I think we're going to get that.
You know what I'd prefer? I'd prefer both these teams are undefeated. That's a little bit of a bummer. And I saw Phil Mafah. I wasn't able to make the Phil Mafah interview, and he said we can still win the national title. And he's not wrong. No. Ohio State in 2014 lost to Virginia Tech in the opening game and then went on to win the national title. So it has happened. But, man, did you have to lose to Duke? Like, this game would have been –
Well, actually, KG, nobody –
number 4 versus number 7 or something like that.
Yeah, nobody has lost opening weekend. It was actually week 2. So it would be historical of Clemson if they were to do that. I just want to see 2 one-loss teams in Charlotte. Can I ask for that? Is that too much to ask for? We'll see. I know a lot of
Florida
ACC
State would
fans
like to be undefeated.
Rolling their eyes and saying no way. Anyway, this was awesome. Big shout out to Derek Satterfield, to Trey Benson, to Ross Taylor, and of course Phil Mafah for joining us. It was a lot of fun talking with both of those guys and to kind of go inside the helmet just to see where their minds are. Couple of stud running backs. I think both these guys are going to have such a massive impact on the game. We will have much more Friday. It's hard to think. We just spoke for 40 minutes about this game, but we got more to talk about. We'll do that on Friday and a bunch of games. This is a great weekend, another loaded up one. So thank you guys for listening. Another great episode of Graham and Mac Lane presented by our great friends over at Ingles. Couldn't do all this without them. We need you guys to go to YouTube. You got to see these great interviews with the guys coming on here. They're so much fun. And of course, the OGs over on Apple Podcasts. Rate, review, subscribe over there. We would greatly appreciate that. But until next time, we'll see y'all.